I get that intercoolers lower air temps and allow denser air to enter the engine, but most aftermarket intercoolers are larger than stock in volume. Doesn't that reduce air density? No. Um, Air density is not a function of the volume that it's in. So the density of the air is a property of how hot or cold it is and how close or far the molecules in the air are from each other. The issue you get with a bigger intercooler is it takes longer to pressurize. Now, pressure is not density. But yes, if you double the volume of your intercooler, then you will increase the amount of time it takes to achieve a target boost pressure
Yeah.
within that intake system because you've increased the volume. It's like you can pump up a bike tire much faster than you can pump up a car tire. It's because the volumes are different. Um, so it is important to use an intercooler that's not too big or not overly oversized.
Yeah,
There's really no benefits.
that said though, I mean, the amount of space you usually have to fit
Yeah.
an intercooler on the front of a car, you're almost never going to be able to get something that's too big to the point where it's going to
Yes.
be like really impactful on what you would even notice.
Yeah, 100% agreed. In practice, an intercooler that's too big is almost impossible. Now, I do see like project cars and race cars where you rip the whole front end off and
Yeah, and there's
you get rid of your AC and now you could stick in like a 3,000 horsepower intercooler for a 600 horsepower application would be a waste.
yeah, and it is also just thermal design issues that some people overlook, where they think they can just put like a foot deep intercooler, in something, and it's going to work great because you get all that core, and the efficiency drops a ton with the thicker and thicker cores. So there's a bunch of aspects to go into it, but generally speaking, you're never going to get one that's too big for a
This is
stock
a
car.
very good question, so thank you for asking
Yeah.
it. There is a delay in boost onset when you increase the size of your intercooler. But it's the same kind of compromise you have to accept when you put in a bigger turbo.
Yeah.
Or you
Well,
make other
but it's
kind
not
of
even that big.
applications.
Like you'd have to put some pretty sensitive measurements
It
on
could
it.
be it could be 100 RPM or something in whatever gear you're in.
Yeah.
An extra second or half a second to hit whatever target.
But generally speaking, worth every single bit
Yes,
of it.
completely
You're
worth
gonna
it.
so overcome any of that delay.
Which is why I said it's a compromise.
Yeah.
Whenever you do anything, certainly in it from an engineering standpoint, but I would argue anything in life, you have to give something up to get something. And so you give up a little bit of lag and boost pressure to get lower temps and more dense air and higher flow, and you get more power. So maybe you delay boost onset by 100 RPM in third gear, but you generate another 40 horsepower the rest of the way after you hit your boost targets. It's worth it, right? It's a compromise. But that's how anything in engineering is. There's that saying for a reason that there's no free lunch. There really isn't.